All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? All right, I'm over here toying with my setup, making sure I got everything set. So this is going to be relatively quick, so I'm making sure that everything is in line and making sure I got everything so I can get back to my schedule on Monday. I'm probably going to switch everything up. It's probably going to be a 7:15 to a 7:30 type of show, quick 15 minutes, doing a analysis before you take the trade, try to see where everything goes. I kind of like the 8:30 one, so that way I can be able to kind of catch the news at 8:45, but I got a lot that's on my plate, but I still want to be able to give you all this information and get it out there. So let's go ahead and get to the charts. This thing is doing the wrong chart. All right, hold on. Bear with me. Make sure I got the right chart. There we go. All right. So if we look at this chart, right? So we got ourselves NQ. The way NQ is moving right now, it looks like it wants to just continue to the upside as much as it likes to do. I'm not really a big fan of all the upside because I don't like how our news is. I really don't think everything is really in our best interest, I should say, right? Because we have a lot of quantitative easing that's happening, and when it's all said and done, the market's going to move the way the market wants to move, but it's fine. We're going to go ahead and get really deep into it. So if you look, we got a lot of imbalances that's holding us up, and it's kind of propping it up. We're not rebalancing it in any way, fashion, or form. So we're probably going to continue to push to that upside when it's all said and done. Why are you not loading? Come on, behave. Let me change this to 2 hour. Let's see if we can get this to load. Give it a large refresh. Trade view. We gotta have some conversation. Gotta have some conversations real quick, right? There we go. All right. So if we look at this on the 2 hour, we are building a nice solid order block to try, and it's a bullish order block. Look at like it's ready to get pushed all the way up to that upside. If we can get a nice little hold of this area, then you could tell right here we made higher lows right here from here to here. This was around 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We probably can hold here, and then we'll probably attack some of these areas that's right here, right? So we're going back into some September numbers, and if you remember how I kind of complained about September, it was a little annoying, but it's all right. It is what it is, and we're back at September right now. So we're gonna make some money. We're gonna make some money. Let's go ahead and go into crude oil. Now, crude oil did something very interesting, and to be honest, I didn't expect it to do it, but one of my members was telling me that there's some news going on as far as the Saudis and how they're going to affect supply and everything else. So this was one of those things that probably affected the market. Look, I'm just saying this. At the end of the day, oil does not have any business being this high, and because I'm in the type of business that requires gas, and I want to see oil come down a little bit, but we'll see what happens. All right, so oil looks like it is trying to hold this level and get back above the 78 level, but I did look at 77.58. It was a previous area of resistance. I'm sorry, a previous area of support, and also we had a little bit of resistance here, but this was the one that kind of started the whole rally of oil. So I'm looking at this level. Can it hold, right? Because it's shown up formed like inverse head and shoulders. It formed all types of drops, M patterns, everything that you can see. So let's do it like this. And kind of give you a little bit of idea what's my thinking. This is what's going to end up happening. Right now, it's way far away from this downward trend line. This is just retracement. Maybe come back to this red line and then come down. If we go over to the weekly, this is a consistent downtrend, right? So we got this peak here. This is during 08. And then we got this one right here. I think think this is a blow off top. Hold on, let me make sure I am looking at that right. That way, yep, blow off top right there. So now we got ourselves what looks like a deviation here. And you can see where the cheat code algo is trying to adjust it for here. But I'm a big proponent. If you haven't been to one of my chart classes, you need one that happens before the other. So it has to be the chicken comes before the egg, or the egg comes before the chicken, however you want to remember it. But you cannot have a downtrend without a lower low. So that is not a real downtrend. This is the downtrend, and they're breaking now. So we're having a trend break, but we haven't had a trend change until we actually break. I want to say this low here. Yeah, that low. I'm looking for $63 to really decide if it's going to go ahead and end up being any lower. All right. So meanwhile, what are we having here? We have ourselves a little bit of a trend continuation-ish, right? Because what happened right there in that base, roughly around May of 2023, they're trying to hold that level and put pressure on that downtrend. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's get to gold. Gold looks like it is doing something a little funky, just a little bit. I was looking for gold to kind of really continue to its way down, but with this almost like mother baby type of action that it's putting in, even though the stochastics coming down, that does put a little bit things to question. We do have 4 days left before this actually holds, so let's go ahead and look at the 2 hour. If we look at the 2 hour, nice imbalance that's holding it up, and it looks like they're trying to hold this level, kind of like what's going on with oil. So look at the level at 1950, and 1950 can hold. We'll probably go fill the rest of this imbalance here, and then we'll probably start going and attacking the downward trend line that is right here. We created 1 point, lower low, lower high, lower low, and you know how the story goes. All right, so keep an eye on gold. I do see where the stochastic is pointing up, like it wants to continue to the upside, so we'll see what happens. All right, next one, it is silver. I told my members on the floor that if this thing breaks, it's going to bring gold down. It did, but now silver is going to go ahead and retest probably the backside of this trend line. We do have a depth cross in the 2 hour. Let me see if it does a depth cross in the 4 hour too. Yep, 4 hour has one, and the daily is flirting with one. No, actually, no. It tried to go to a golden cross, cut it, and then it's now back into a depth cross. I do have a channel here that this thing is going to go ahead and play into. It needs to break this level for this channel to stay validated. Validated. I don't know what's wrong. Validated. So I'm over here struggling with the English language early this morning. But yeah, so if we can have this break the 22,410, this will validate the silver channel that I got over here, and it'll start to continue to its downside. Maybe even go for this imbalance on the daily, which will bring it to 21. So about almost a whole point down to the downside, and then put some real pressure on the 2845. So keep an eye on that. Next one, British pound. British pound compressing, just like how we are compressing. The only thing that was funny was I was explaining to my floor is that we came detached, right? So when we go up, they go up, right? But if you look right here, we went up and left them behind, left them in the dirt, and then they started to catch up here, but then they hit the little bit of a threshold right about here. And yeah, we just detached again. It falls while we're rising. So this is going to be very interesting. I wonder, I didn't even put two and two together. I might have to do some research on how the British pound is affected by the war over there. I'm not saying that that's the answer. I'm not saying that, but I don't do enough currency pairs. So if you want to go ahead and let me know and DM me, that'd be absolutely appreciated, because this right here was staying attached to the hip for a little bit, and then now we look like this. But anyways, it does look like the stochastic is crossing up. They're probably going to put some pressure on this 200 EMA on a daily. Maybe try to make a golden cross, possibly, but it has to get past this 1.2347, and then try to test that 1.2478. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this going. Natural gas. natural gas looks really, 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 really funny. I looked at this because I was like, okay, why is natural gas shooting up? This is how I kind of looked at the chart. But yeah, we had a nice little shoot up here, and then we had another shoot up here going into the winter season. Then we got the little shoot up right here. I thought this was done. When I say I thought it was done, when they made this impactful move, I was like, oh, well, then maybe when they give this all back, we're not going to make a W. And then it bounced, but it was violent, and it didn't give the whole W. So since this W did not play out, wrong tool, for this one, since this W did not play out, right, making it do this, and it's actually breaking down, it does look like what we kind of call a little bit of an H pattern. And this is our H right here, and it's like a double-decker H, and it's finally down here. So what do you do with natural gas now? It does look like it's trying to break out of a trend here. It does. You got a retest over here. You had a potential downtrend that was here, but it looks like this is maybe a trend break. Let me go ahead and put that right there. That looks good. And we're going to go ahead and do this. That's good. And then we're going to go ahead and do one of these. This is a micro trend to the upside. Boom. And we're going to call this boom. And we're going to call that thing over there uptrend. Right. So I'm looking at natural gas to actually hold these levels. And as long as it's respecting this upward trend line, we're probably going to put pressure on 3.321, which is around here at the 50% of the Fibonacci. And then we're going to go ahead and probably take it to about here-ish. So I got a nice little alert letting me know, hey, we filling this gap. So I'm looking for that gap. That's a whole nother game right there. All right, so we'll see what happens there. The Russells. I really want Russell to hold this zone. Then I could have felt real bullish about the market and more bearish about everything else that goes against the market, like your dollar. But unfortunately, it kind of broke this level and it's trying to find its way to get back above there. So until it gets above 1737-ish, around there, if we can hold above there, then I could really believe that we'll do something to the upside. Maybe I'll get some longer term stuff, or maybe even some leaps, because the Russell tends to really pull the market first. But right now it just looks like compressing. You can see with the Chico dollar the way we kind of press it against it itself. Now the last one, and the fun one, is the dollar. Right. So the dollar, how I see it with the dollar, which is just being a little jerkish, right? We had a nice little M pattern, and I was looking for this whole entire thing to just play out. That would make our Santa rally really powerful. So this is the M pattern right here, and then we got this right here. Oh, come on, get there. There we go. Right? This would have brought us a little bit lower, maybe here. That's the target I was kind of looking for, somewhere around here, maybe here. But we kind of started bouncing already. So I wonder if the market is trying to get down to the 50% retracement of it. Now, this is a bearish order block that was built over here in August. Okay? This little FYI. I do not think we're going to get all the way down there. So do not have your hopes on that. There is nothing good in the economy. My opinion. But if you look at this level and it actually breaks this level and continues down, then we're going to get ourselves an imbalance fill here, and that will hold it to about 103.749. This will bring us to August of 23, August 31st. So let's go ahead and look at NQ on August 31st. August 31st. That brought us to roughly around the peaks here. What is this? Doesn't that look very interesting? Doesn't that really kind of bring a little light to the story? We are rejecting at this area because this is probably one of the lowest points where the market actually dropped, but the dollar is probably a little detached and it's not bringing it as low as it's supposed to. So are they going to go ahead and force the NQ to shoot up, maybe even fill this gap right here? Because there's been a gap, and I've been eyeballing this for a long period of time. Right here, nice little space in between. Could they be actually aiming for that and using that information in itself, knowing that the dollar has not filled its imbalance, and that imbalance is the one that's going to bring it down? Possibly. But anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and share that with y'all, and I want to say thank you very much for taking the time and enjoying a little bit of what before the analysis trade usually works out to. I'm going to be working on this so I can get my schedule back to on par, but this was kind of like a practice run, a dry run to kind of see how I want to be able to control it, this, that, and third, play with the new tools and all that. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you very much, and I will see you later. Have a great day.